Hello there, guys, and welcome back to my channel for a live reaction and player ratings live stream following Chelsea 6, Southampton 0, or the other way around, Southampton 0, Chelsea 6. What a way to bounce back. What a day it has been. Ferrari on pole, Chelsea winning 6-0, Arsenal lose. I think they have lost this that game over, I'm pretty sure. Man United lose to Everton. Everything's brilliant. What a day. Oh my days. Who would have thought that? Chelsea can actually play attacking football. That's why we haven't attacked like this since playing Juventus at home in, November? Mental. What a day. Honestly, I'm so pleased. I'm so pleased. Obviously, Clutch will bring us right back down and say, let's make sure we don't start certain people on Tuesday just because they played well today. But that's a discussion for a little bit later on in this stream. So, you know what, Pies? I'll start with you. I'm sure you're happy because we've had a rough couple of weeks at Chelsea, whether it's the result of the last two games, or it's the whole takeover process. Obviously, no one likes international breaks anyway. Today was kind of like, I don't know, felt good, I thought. Felt good.
I'm speechless in a good way, to be honest with you. I didn't expect that result at all. I didn't like the lineup at all. I mean, I don't think anyone did. I think everyone thought it was going to be a long afternoon, a painful watch. I wasn't sure how the players were going to react, but yeah, Laurenz, you was right yesterday. We was either going to play badly or we was going to absolutely smash them, and thankfully it was the latter. Yeah, great performance all round. I thought just the timing we scored goals, like the game was over so fast. And yeah, just brilliant performances all round. I thought great as well that we could rest a few key players. Because you don't usually ever really get to do that in the Premier League. Even if 2-3-1 ups, you usually keep your best players on just in case. But yeah, great performance, great result. I was begging for one more goal because then we would have broken our away Premier League record. But yeah, I mean 6-0. Who cares? Great result. Who cares if it was 7, 8, 9? What more can you say? It was an amazing day.
No, exactly. I could not agree more. Sure, would have been nice to break that record. Always is nice to break records. But especially after the last two games that we've had, when it was 5-0, 6-0, any huge win like that would have done us really, really well. Like you said, a lot of us, and when I say a lot of us, I don't just mean us four here. I mean, I feel like a majority of the fan base, at least the majority of the fan base I've seen on Twitter, was pretty damn unhappy with that lineup. But Thomas Tuchel is a genius, and we are not. And that's why he's being paid millions, and we are not, unfortunately. But hey, it is what it is. But, I mean, we'll get to the lineup in more detail in a little bit. You know what? I feel like we'll have a hype con today. We haven't had hype con in a couple of weeks, so let's see if we got hype con today. Con, thank you for joining us. Is it hype con that I'm talking to right now?
Of course it is, bro. Chelsea just won 6-0. What energy shoot I'm coming with today, bro? I saw Timo Werner with the shades of Leipzig, bro. I see Mason Mount come back into form. I see Alonso have a masterclass, and we don't see that too often, I'm gassed, bro. What a performance. Every single one of them on the pitch. Love you today. Absolutely bossed it. And even Mendy, bro, he had one save to make. It was a pretty good save as well. Point blank. So big up Mendy as well. Everybody today did their part. I fucking love it, bro. I was so angry after the last game against Madrid. I was so annoyed. But today, I'm so happy, bro. Such a contrast between the two.
Mate, I could not agree more. I could not. What the flip? I just tried to get this thing up for the formation to do the player ratings, and I accidentally clicked on a formation called 2-3-1-4. I almost have to show you this screen now with how mental it is. I will show you in a second, but we'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, I could not agree more with what both Con and Pi said. Clutch, are you still going to be on the hype train, or you're going to already bring us back down, or is that going to come later?
No, that'll come later. I mean, it's a good result. I mean, that's the kind of result you need before Madrid midweek. It seemed like the talk that Tuchel had something to do. These players were fired up, Mason Mount especially. Like, he took everybody's criticism personally. He cut his hair off like Britney Spears back in the day. It's fantastic. But it is Southampton. We can only play who we get put in front of. So I mean, we went out there and we battered Southampton. So, I mean, it was a good result. I mean, that's what you need, especially going into a game where we're down 2 or 3-1. So, hopefully we can bring it back.
Hopefully we can. I mean, Obviously, there's, a way of looking at it that Southampton were also really bad, and they were. But number one, we've played plenty of bad teams over the season. And other than against Norwich on one occasion at Stamford Bridge, we never put anywhere near 6 goals past anyone. So even when opponents have been bad, usually, we don't score like this. Now, today, we did. And yes, Musa, I am doing backflips backstage after Ruben Loftus-Cheek's performance. Where are the haters? Come on. Ruben Loftus-Cheek, right wing-back masterclass. Who would have thought that, eh? Who would have thought that? Mental. I mean, someone said here in the chat, where is it? There you go. What's your name? Trees Sten. Sorry if I butchered it. Loftus-Cheek surprised me, showing Reece James how to push forward with content. I mean, not sure if you actually meant content. Is that not a different word I'm looking of? Intent. That's what you were looking for. But anyway, even I agree with that. And I love Reece James. I'm my actual favourite player at the club. Mental. Absolutely mental. I'm hyped in all sorts of things. But what I will do now is get this up on screen just to make everybody have a little chuckle like myself at this formation. Should we play that on Tuesday? Go as attacking as we can. Why not?
We should play that. We need
Why
to.
is that even an option to pick?
We get 2 early goals at the Bernabeu, score playing that within 10 minutes, and then we can just go back to normal.
Exactly. I will try to move this around to adjust it more to our formation. Now, one small little question I have for you guys. Obviously, clearly in the second half, after we brought Pulisic on for Kai Havertz, we played in a 3-4-1-2, I guess. But in the first half, I would still say it was a 3-4-3. Would people agree, or do you think it was a front two in the first half already? Why don't I start with you on that, Pies?
Front three, I thought, for me.
Right.
Mount was... But it was quite hard to tell, but Havertz and Werner were definitely... Havertz central and Werner was out on the left. Mount was kind of...
I disagree, because for me,
I
Havertz
don't
was on
think-
the left, Werner was in the middle.
I don't think
Really?
any of them had one stationary position. I think they all shifted so much.
See, I thought Havertz and Werner did, but Mount
Because
didn't.
I've seen Mount take up
Mount
those
was
positions.
always over with Ruben, wasn't he? So
Yeah, Mount was supporting Ruben, but at the same time, he was getting the ball up and drifting in centrally as well.
yeah,
Obviously, Werner's goal was kind of first Werner goal was kind of century because he was counter attack and stuff, but second one obviously tapping off the left hand side. Yeah, it was a little bit all over the place at times, but it's good because we just destroyed them with our movement. I think
we
a lot as
absolutely
well.
did. And I mean, remember what we were talking about yesterday, or what specifically I said yesterday. Let's stop worrying about defending all the time. Let's just focus on attacking for once. And seemingly, that's actually exactly what we did for once. And how good, not just ahead of Madrid, not just for the game here, but just for our soul as fans. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, we always say, that's how we are at Chelsea, where we're not City, we're not Liverpool. We don't, unfortunately, batter teams all the time. But when we do, especially because we don't do it so regularly, other than obviously that big Carlo season back in the day, but because we don't do it so regularly, when we do, it probably feels even better, I reckon. But yeah, like you said, so much movement, so much intent. I mean, 2 things. Thomas Tuchel needs to just shout at these players more regularly, I reckon, and give the man a lifetime supply of chocolate at night time, because he was talking about watching the game back, being so stressed out, he had to eat way too much chocolate. I'm like, well, clearly, he just needs way more of that, because we haven't played like this, in my opinion, since we played Juve. So, I mean, I don't really know what more I can ask. Con, much of a thought about how the front three lined up? Was it for you Timo in the middle? Was it Timo on the left? How did you view that?
Yeah, when I first saw the lineup, bro, not gonna lie, I didn't even judge it. I saw a lot of people freaking out. I was like, I've done this before with Tuchel. I'm not doing it again. He's made us idiots before. I'm just gonna back and trust what he's doing. When I saw it, it looked like a 3-4-3. Mount on the right, Timo on the left, and Kai up top. Yeah, I wasn't a massive fan of it, but then again, I wasn't going to badmouth it because it's Tuchel. He knows more than me. He's proved me wrong time and time again when I seen the lineup. I trusted it, bro, and I'm glad I did, because now I don't look like an idiot, So I'm happy.
Yeah, no, well done you, mate, because I certainly lost my shit before the game. I was like, honestly, when I saw the lineup, even more so privately than publicly, I won't even lie about it. I was so pissed off when I saw the lineup. I'm like, why is Timo starting? Is Ruben actually playing right wing back? What on earth is going on? Why is Thiago Silva not getting rested after his wife already made a whole, Insta story about how tired he is after 2 games ago and he played the last 2 games? Do you know what I mean? Like, I had so many questions. I was so annoyed. Why is Kante playing? So many questions I had. But yeah, like Con said, maybe we should hold horses. But then at the very same time, all of us were pretty happy with the lineup against Real Madrid, and that was shocking. So, that's how it swings and roundabouts, unfortunately. Clutch, your reaction to when the lineup came out, a bit like mine, eh?
Yeah, I was unscrewing the bleach bottle. I was getting ready to put it in my eyes so I didn't have to watch that. Gladly, I couldn't get the cap off, so I did get to see that.
I thought you just wanted to imitate Timo Werner going blonde. Sorry, I thought that's what you were doing with bleach.
No, but I don't know how his hair stays so dry after 90 minutes, man. That's crazy to me. But no, I was
backed out of all the challenges. That's why. Sorry.
No,
not today.
but,
no, today he didn't do that.
Yeah, no. But no, I was very upset. I mean, I thought for sure it was going to be Christensen right back with Alonso as the left back and Ruben as the lone 6 again. Turned out he was the wing back, and as much as I thought that would fail, he didn't fail today. Werner had a decent game. I'm not going to lie about it. I'm going to hold the L on that one. But still, I don't believe in that front 3 when it comes to Madrid. So hopefully it doesn't happen against Madrid. I know many people are going to be wanting that, but I hope it doesn't happen. But I was very, very shocked. But we got to see Kovacic as well. I really wanted to see Kovacic. So I'm happy about that.
That is true. A lot of people in the chat saying it was a 3-4-1-2. It definitely was in the second half. I don't think that's how we played. For me, Mount was too much over here for that to have been our formation in the first half. I mean, if people disagree, you're happy to disagree with that. But for me, he was too often with Ruben to be nominally a number 10. I personally disagree with that. I also think Havertz was more on the left than Timo was on the left, hence why I'll say like this. But obviously, if you're being honest, it was obviously a bit more like the real time. I mean, and Ruben obviously high and stuff. But if you only the front 3 were kind of a little bit like this. But regardless, I'll shift it again when we do the subs. When we talk about the second half, I'll shift it. So I will play in the second half, but for the time being, we're going to talk about the first half. Don't kill me if you have a different opinion about what the lineup exactly was. Pice, have I asked you your exact thoughts on the lineup initially, other than how they lined up? But you were kind of in mine and Clutch's camp where you were pretty unhappy, weren't you?
Bro, I was saying like April Fool's Day was like 9 days ago. Why is this team? Because of Alonso, Werner left hand side. Like I was surely like Loftus-Cheek cannot be right wing back. Like that cannot be a thing, but it was, and you played decent to be fair. Werner again, I just mentioned him, but Kante, I wasn't sure whether he was going to play or needed to play. The rest was fine. It was just 3 or 4 players which I thought position-wise or just them in general were going to make it a long game, but it was quite the opposite. And actually, it's quite funny because it seems to be whenever we put a lineup up that the fans don't like, we play the best. It just doesn't make any sense. It's happened so many times now. So maybe I'll just shut up next time.
Honestly, because we can't even say, I mean, obviously, the high line by Southampton really helped Timo Werner, obviously, especially with his first goal. What a howler by James Ward-Prowse. That it had nothing to do with our tactical brilliance or not even that much with Timo's brilliance. That was just James Ward-Prowse making one of the worst defensive headers you'll ever see. And then that goal gave Timo so much confidence because obviously before that he was having a right old stinker. But after that, fixed himself even if he needed the post to get his assist off. But, maybe he meant it. Maybe he just wanted to give an assist to his best mate, Kai. Who knows? I might give him the benefit of the doubt. But where I was going with that is you can't even say Timo is great against every time we play against a team with a high line. I mean, we played City, we played Liverpool. Timo played against those teams on occasions, and he was always pretty poor. So it's not even as simple as high line. It needs to be high line and opponent is bad. But no, let's not take credit away. People are probably aware that just because Timo played well today, I'm not going to now think Timo is not shit because he still is. But today he wasn't. But it's not going to change my overall opinion of him. What a clown, what a flip-flop merchant I would be if I constantly criticize him, and then because of one good game, I'm now singing his praises for the next 2 months. That would be silly. So I'll praise him for today because credit where credit is due. But that's going to be the end of it. And expecting me to, because of this game now, say on Monday for the preview ahead of Madrid, say, oh, Timo must start. I have to disappoint you. But, we'll get to that in a little bit. I think this is one occasion where we can leave Mendy to after the outfield players again. But let's start with the centre-backs, because the centre-backs are going to be difficult to rate today because, we had like 2 occasions to defend, really, if I'm honest. So not really much to say. For, I don't know, because I don't know which side to start with. Let's start with Thiago Silva. Obviously, he was subbed off after a while. Now, you know what? Let me actually quickly, obviously people watch the game, but I just want to talk through the game quickly. Because we made it 1-0 in the 8th minute. And by the time we scored that goal, we should have already been 3-0 up. Or we could have already been 3-0 up, shall we say. Because Timo, actually, probably his best effort of the day was the first chance that we had when he just took a shot from, was it just inside or just outside the box, towards the far post, and it just hit the post, went out. Then he obviously hit the bar from a wonderful Loftus-Cheek cross from 3 yards out and headed it against the wall. I'm like, Timo, not again. Man, what's going on? But the next one, he took another Loftus-Cheek cross, maced around with one of the best assists you'll see, really. Oh, no, that was then Mount's goal. What was Timo's goal again? That was the mistake. Oh, I'm waffling.
It was the header backwards, and then Timo.
But Alonso scored the first one, right?
Yep. Alonso, Mount, Werner.
There you go. Yeah. You're right. So then Mount with said very good assist over to Alonso with a wonderful finish. Again, a bit like Timo Werner, we criticize Marcus Alonso very regularly on this channel, but that was a wonderful strike. A wonderful, wonderful strike. Mason Mount then, brilliant strike from 20, 22, 23 yards into the bottom corner. Amazing. Then Timo Werner with, the really bad backwards header by James Ward-Prowse. But then good pace and good, well done to round the keeper to slot it home. Kai Havertz then with the goal he had nothing to do with because Timo Werner basically did all the work. Good dribbling, lovely fake shot, and then it's the post. It bounces straight to Havertz. To be fair to him, made sure he stayed onside, so that's well done. And then tapped it home, didn't sky his effort. And in the second half, another Timo Werner goal. Can I remember that one?
Kante got it back in the midfield, and then it hit and just landed in front for Timo to tap it in.
There you go. But who? It was a tap-in, but how did it come to the tap-in? Remind me.
Kante stole the ball in the midfield and drove with it. And
the chip. Kante stole the chip. Well, he should have just passed it to Timo for an easy goal. Decided to do a chip shot with his weak foot, which I don't understand, but fair enough. And then Mason Mount made it 6-0 with another tap-in after great cross from Alonso. Pulisic unfortunately couldn't quite get his effort in. Well saved by Fraser Forster. Then Timo couldn't quite get there. Mason poked it home. We definitely had plenty of time, considering that was in the 54th minute, to score after. But hey, at the end of the day, 6-0. I don't think we'll be complaining much. But, sorry, let's go back to the centre-backs. Thiago Silva. We passed it a bit quicker today, but I'm really not sure where to go with these centre-backs ratings. Are we going to go high because we won 6-0 as a team? Or are we going to go as if we won basically 1-0? Because that's still a clean sheet for the defence, is it not? And if we won this game 1-0 and they had the same amount of chances, what ratings would we give them? A 7? 7s? Maybe 8s maximum? I don't know. Difficult for me to judge. I'm going to start with a 7.5, but I could be very much so swayed in both directions because I'm really not sure where to place the centre-backs because Southampton were just so all over the shop that they really didn't threaten us at all, other than 1 or 2 occasions, if I'm honest. Con, why don't I start with you? Thiago Silva. Difficult to rate the centre-backs today, but whereabouts would you go with that rating?
I'm not going to lie, bro. I'm on sort of the same lines as you. I was thinking just 7 across the board for the defenders today. Above average games, they did their job well, but Southampton really didn't do anything. So I can't really sit here and talk about Thiago Silva, Christensen, or Rudiger with what they had to do today because there's not really much to say. So I was just thinking 7 across the board, bro.
That is reasonable, to be honest. That is reasonable. I'm not sure if I want to go 7.5s across the board or 7s across the board, but I'll just, to make things shorter, because I'm sure we have plenty of things to say when we get about other players today. So I'll just leave you be for the centre-backs now. And let's move to Pies. Do you agree with? You can also do all three in a row if you want, if that's easier for you. 7.5, sevens. Whereabouts do you sit on the centre backs?
I'm just trying to remember. Was anyone positionally at fault for the Mendy save because the ball was crossed in? And
Christensen didn't step up.
okay,
Did you,
yeah, and I think just trying to think what I noticed throughout the game with these three centre backs. Christensen made a stupid tackle. I remember that, which gave a foul away. But it's nitpicking. I mean, 7s or 7.5s. I don't know. Whatever you guys want to do. Just thinking from that one chance they did have, who was at fault really, because it was a free chance for the striker. Mendy had to bail us out.
yeah.
Can't really.
Not really.
remember.
Like I
Kante is
remember the
Christensen,
chance, but I'm not really sure if there's anyone in particular you could really blame for it. It was just a through ball on the side and then a cross into the middle. And I guess no one was marking him. It was in the middle. So if anything, it's probably Thiago Silva should be marking the guy in the middle. I would assume it, without remembering it perfectly. But considering he took the chance from straight in front of Mendy, that's the central centre back's man then. So I guess mostly Thiago, but I mean, like Con said, maybe Christensen could have helped it more on the side to avoid the cross in the first place. I'm not 100% sure if I remember. I mean, so far people in the chat have kind of not been too far off of what we were talking about with 7.5s or whatever.
Who played the ball for or how did Werner's counter-attack goal start again? Was it?
It was just James Ward-Prowse heading it backwards, bro.
Oh, okay, right. I was gonna say like I'm trying. So much happened that I don't want to miss out like a good pass that led to something. You know what I mean? From a centre back, I can't bloody remember the goals. I remember the end goals, but I don't know how a lot of them started. I mean, one of them started with a Mount breakaway, which was really good, but I can't really remember much from the defenders. Yeah, exactly. I think we just go across that all board. Yeah.
There you go. I was going to say 7.5 across the board. You know, we were so harsh and critical after the last two games. I mean, rightfully so, but you know.
Rudiger set up a goal? Who said that?
Yeah, but was Rudiger set up a goal?
Someone in the chat said Rudiger set up a goal. Is this what I mean? I don't remember.
What goal was that?
I don't know whether he's trolling. He just put, we're not talking about Rudiger's shot, and then he put Rudiger set up a goal.
I mean, the shot was with his left foot that he put like, what, 5 yards wide or whatever.
That was funny.
That's the only shot I can remember. But what goal did he set up? Because, like I said, Timo's wasn't really. It might have been really good. It cleared it for Ward-Prowse to head it backwards.
Maybe, yeah.
That was all Ward-Prowse, essentially. But yeah, like I said, I'm just going to go for the slightly higher rating in 10.5. Because, like, we were super harsh in the last one. So, you know, they said, I mean, Pice criticized it rightfully so in a sense yesterday when he's like, I don't like these kind of cringy or like, oh, we'll fight back for you the next game or whatever posts. And he said, you know, we want to see it on the pitch. But to be fair, we did see it on the pitch today. And for that reason, I'm going to go for the higher rating if I'm undecided between two. Clutch, do you also want to do all three in a row? Would you go along with the 7.5? Would you more lean with Con and stick to a 7 all around? What do you think?
I'd probably stick to a 7. But, I mean, if you want to give him the higher, I'm not opposed to it. I don't think if you go and look at Thiago Silva's stats, he has like one stat and everything else is just like passing, which is short passes. So I think Rudiger was making a lot of long balls. I do think he did that. Christensen was one doing a little bit more defending, but not too much. I think most of it was coming from the midfield and on. So I would, give him a 7.5. I'll be nice today.
Fair. Who was Spurs playing?
Definitely Aston Villa.
There you go.
But definitely not an 8 for Thiago Silva.
By the LMAO, because usually I don't find it funny when Spurs are winning, so I was a bit
Arsenal. I don't want Arsenal to get top 4.
Yeah. No, I hear that. I now remember what Cranky Pans is talking about in the lead up to the 6th goal, I think, where Marcus Alonso played the cross into the box to Pulisic initially, and then Werner couldn't get it in, and then Mount got it in. I think it was really going to play the nice ball out to Alonso. Might have been Kovacic, though. I'm not 100% sure. Who cares? I mean, I'm going to just say let's do the 7.5s just because Otherwise, I'll have to ask the chat for the ratings of all of them. If you do 7, Con does 7, and Vice and myself do the 7.5. And then what if people want different ones for different players? And then we're going to be all over the shop. So let's just do 7.5 for the lot of them. Marcus Alonso. The guy's so weird, man. The guy's so weird. Why does he sometimes play so bad and then sometimes play so good? I mean, before the game, we was all, oh, my days. Tino Livramento against Alonso. What's going to happen? We're going to be in the mud. We weren't in the mud. I mean, Livramento ran through our team on one occasion early in the game, but even that wasn't even with Alonso because he kind of came inside and he ran past Mount and he ran past Kante, mainly those two. So I didn't even see Alonso struggle with that much, if I'm honest. And he got a goal, nearly got a second one, involved in not a direct assist because obviously his cross didn't directly lead to Mount's goal because Pulisic touched it, Werner touched it, Forster touched it. But still, so well done to him, really. With that said then, I'm going to give him an 8. Do we think that's too low? Clutch, I'll go with you first. 8 fair for you? I mean, maybe it's too high, but I don't remember Alonso doing a single bad thing today. So as much as I don't rate him, if I don't remember anything bad, what can I say?
I want to give him an 8.5. I mean, one of the stats he says he has 5 key passes, so he's clearly had a blinder today, like I said in the private chat. And like you said, he didn't do anything wrong. He didn't defend poorly. He was getting involved in the attack. He spread out the attack more wide. So, I mean, that's something we were missing against Madrid. We didn't have that wide presence. And, oh my God, I can't believe I just said that out loud that Alonso did that. Okay, no, 8.5.
You know what? I'll go along with that. Pice, 8.5 a tad high for you. Would you agree with it as well, or what do you think?
I mean, I agree with it. I mean, he played very well today. He set the route off, as you would say. 6-0 Drummond. So, yeah, good finish. I always thought he'd finish that, to be fair. I guess this is why you have a case to start him sometimes when the team's not scoring a lot, because he can pop up with a goal and stuff like that. So, yeah, good cutback as well for, well, one of the eventual goals, I think, was Mount tapping. Did he get an assist? Can't remember now.
No, I don't think an official
I think
one.
so. But overall, yeah, he was decent. Obviously hard to tell and a bit wary because Southampton didn't attack that much. Obviously, so, but I mean, for the attacking display and what it was today, I think you have to give him an 8.5. I think.
Fair dues, yeah. I mean, and you could even say, I mean, Southampton didn't challenge us for them offensively, for us defensively, but that's partly also because we played really well, and that includes then Alonso, I guess, to stop them from even threatening him in the first place, I suppose. So, big ups. Con, we've all gone 8.5 so far. Would you go along with that? Do you think it's a bit high? Potentially, do you think it's a bit low? What do you think?
I think 8.5 is pretty spot on, to be fair. I'd happily give him a 9 as well. But if you guys go 8.5, I'll just be easy and go 8.5 as well. I think it was fantastic today. Fair play to him. And it's like you said earlier, bro, just because they perform well for one day, it doesn't mean like you have to rate them a certain way, etc., etc. We can like praise a performance in isolation, you know. And today was fantastic, so 8.5.
Well done. I will stick with you actually, Con, because you're on these streams at least the number one rule of the Cheek hater. So, what are you saying? My man pulled off a masterclass of right wing back, I thought. What are you saying?
Do you know what, bro? Can't even hate today. He was fantastic, wasn't he? I thought it was brilliant. He had a great game. I'd happily give him an 8. I thought it was fantastic today. Considering he was playing right wing back at Loftus-Cheek, I thought he was really good. He really did impress me. I think he was just getting like down that side, and like just how he was playing, bro. Like just the passes he was making, just how positive he was. I thought he was fantastic, bro. I really did. And as soon as I was seeing his performance, I was like, yeah, I'm going on the Laurenz channel later, and I know he's going to love this. And I was like, I kept that in mind. I was like, yeah, so I'm going to give him high preps today. You can smile today, bro. It's a good day for you, bro. Hey.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. I'll keep my rating to last. So, Clutch, why don't you go next? 8 for you. Would you go maybe the same as Alonso? Would you go a bit, I don't know, lower even than 8? What do you think?
I thought he was poor. I thought I'd give him a 6. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I'm
he
kidding.
was awful, wasn't he? Nah, bro, if you're going to go with the joke, you should have said like 4.
Nah, he was definitely really good. He had a lot of good crosses. That cross to Mason Mount that ended up in an Alonso goal was actually insane. He should have had an assist if not for, a certain someone we will talk about later. But yeah, I thought he filled in that shift really well. He was able to pick up the ball and run with it, which is something he really likes to do. So, I mean, I think maybe that position kind of suits him a little bit better than the 6th that he's been playing. So, but we still have Aspie and Reece James, so I wouldn't get too carried away. For this game alone, he was pretty good. But he also is the alternative for that we don't have to play Callum or Pulisic over there anymore. So, hey.
Potentially. Did you agree with Con's 8, yeah? Is that what you said?
Yeah, I get 8.
Fair dues. Pice, why don't I go to you? What do you think?
I thought he played well. I'm not sure about an 8. I was going to go 7.5. I don't know though, because I might give him an 8 because of the position. He did play pretty well. I just I still, for me personally, don't really want to see him there. I don't think he's that sort of player out on that side. Personally, I just don't really like it. Same with Aspie, really. I like more agile, smaller players, or players with. I mean, Ruben has got speed and strength, but he doesn't show it as much anymore. I don't think personally as he used to.
So, Pice, can I just make a comment to you, bro? Do you know Loftus-Cheek? His best probably patch of performance, people might argue, is when he was at Palace and he was playing on that right side. So
yeah, that's
right
true.
wing back,
It's
not totally out there, is it? To be fair,
no, it's not. But I don't want I have a feeling if he plays there again and plays bad, people are just going to shut on him. So I'm just trying to keep it somewhat more realistic to have expectations because I don't know. I don't know whether it's a long-term thing or for me. I don't want him to come away from midfield just to play this position because we saw that with Hudson-Odoi and Pulisic. They stopped going in the front three because they had a few good games at wing back, and I don't know whether I like it. But I don't know because I'm trying to think of other players. What I'm going to give him. I'll give him 7.5, but I can easily see why you guys would say an 8.
Fair. I mean, I agree. I don't think he should be playing there all the time by any means. Number one, Reece James is still a way better player, especially in this position, but in general anyway. But if we, for rotational purposes, and we play a team where we expect to have a lot of the ball, where we expect to not be defensively all too threatened, then I'd probably rather Ruben at wing back than I would Aspie at wing back, maybe. If we're going to have the ball all the time anyway, and he's basically going to play more as a right mid and doesn't have that much defending to do, even though he did okay, he did pretty well with defending today too, then it might be a reasonable shout. Certainly if you play Mount on the right, because him and Mount seem to have very good chemistry. Now, I mean, don't care what you call me biased. I'm going to say 9. Number one, he was absolutely robbed of an assist by Timo Werner. I mean, what a cross. And Timo hit it at the bar from 3 yards. I mean, you couldn't screw it up anymore. And he played the cross to Mount, which Mount played over to Alonso. I know I go higher than Alonso. Alonso scored. I get that. Yeah. But no one can tell me that Ruben wasn't way more involved in the whole game than Alonso was. At least to me. But maybe that's because I'm a Ruben fan. I noticed Ruben a lot more than Alonso. Was that just me because I'm a fanboy? No, I'm genuinely asking that. Or did
I think Loftus-Cheek was more involved. I think Alonso maybe had bigger moments. If that makes sense.
That might be true. Although you say that, obviously scored, but it's not Ruben's fault that Timo heads against the bar, is it?
Nah, that's fair.
But
Alonso could have had an assist too, though, to be fair.
Anyway, regardless of whether I go 9 or not. Go on, Clutch. What are you saying?
I said Alonso could have had an assist too, to be fair. He should have had one for Pulisic, but Pulisic shot it right at the keeper.
But I think we're already giving him the credit for that, even if Pulisic didn't take it. We already say, he did a really well there with the cross and stuff. Didn't we just say that?
Yeah, but it's on that same lines of he also could have had that same type of assist. If we were to say that about Ruben and Werner. It's the same thing.
But
it's that Werner's was much easier. But
the way, or at least how I said it, because I basically gave Alonso credit as if that was an assist. Maybe you guys didn't, but I thought about it that way. But hey, here we are. It remains as an 8 anyway. Let's go to... Let's piss some more people off. I thought Kante was by far our worst player. It was completely pointless all game long. It took him 20 seconds to commit his first unnecessary foul. Brilliant. Then he was the one that got just run past by Livramento. The only player that managed to get run past by anyone today was Kante, it seemed. And Instead of getting an easy, good assist for Timo Werner, he decided to play a chip shot with his weak foot. I mean, that's complete luck, by the way, that falls to Werner. So Kante is getting no credit for that. It's awful decision-making and not even a great chip. I'm giving Kante a 6. Obviously, he wasn't bad, but I don't think he was any more than average. I just don't think he was. Maybe people will hate on me. I don't care. He's getting a 6. We won 6-0. That's it. Clutch, you go first. What do you think?
I agree. But what I did see is he was not the one going further forward unless he got the ball. He did stay back a little bit, which I do like to see, especially in the midfield with Kovacic. You want Kovacic to go forward, and you want Kante staying back. The times Kante did drive forward with the ball, he always made the wrong decision with the pass, though. So, I mean, that's kind of a bad thing because, I mean, we know he makes the wrong decision. It's not only Kante that does that. A lot of our players do that, but Kante seems to be in those positions to make that. I think Kante probably could have had a couple assists today if he would have looked up and made for the better pass, but, you know, it is what it is. He still broke up some passes here or there, but overall, it's not the same Kante we're used to. I think it's a 6.
Fair. Someone said Jules won without any specific thing. So I thought, let me check. So ground duels, he won 6 out of 10, which is not bad, but not world class. That's for sure. Aerial duels, he won 2 out of 3, to be fair, which considering how small he is, it's well done. He won 3 out of his 6 tackles. I mean, it's 50%. It's quite literally average. But he had 7 recoveries, to be fair. And his passing accuracy at 85% wasn't amazing either. But I have to compare it to other players first to make sure whether it isn't good or it is good or whatever. I mean, it's more than Alonso. He had 83, but obviously different position. But yeah, I'm going to stick with my 6. Don't really care whether people disagree. But so far, Clutch did agree. But I did also see something in the chat. What was it? Because in the press conference, I think it was yesterday, how's Tuchel going to say Kante is worse because of Ramadan and then proceed to play back-to-back? Again, it's a good question. I don't understand it either. But also the Ramadan, I respect everybody that does it. I don't understand how that's a thing that people can do. Mental to me. I mean, not the eating part, but the drinking part. But if you're going to do it, I respect it. But then if the manager picks you, then I'm not going to say, it's fine if you play bad because of that. Well, no. If you're being picked, then you need to play well anyway. Otherwise, if you're not going to be able to do that, tell the manager that because you're fasting, you're going to struggle for daytime games and to not play you. That isn't happening. So I'm not going to let anybody off for that. It's everybody's decision to get involved with that or not. I mean, I suppose not. If you're religious, you have to, I suppose. But still, but I just find it so impressive. How can you play a game of football without drinking, without eating before or after? Mental, absolutely mental. How well all the Muslim community can pull that off, if I'm honest. But anyways, Con, why don't I go with you next? I mean, myself and Clutch went with 6. Some people in the chat would have more gone towards the 7, so maybe we're being a bit harsh. Whereabouts would you have gone?
When I was thinking about Ngolo, bro, I was thinking about 7, to be fair. I think he had a decent game. There was lots of times where he had the ball in midfield and he was passing it like, on his first touch. His passing was a lot better today. He sort of dribbles through the middle. I thought he had a decent game. Can't lie, I thought he was all right. I don't think he was Kovacic level good, but I think he was good.
All right. Pice then. 2 6s, 1 7 so far. Whereabouts do you sit?
Let's be awkward and go with 6.5, shall we? Yeah. No,
I'll let you have the 6.5. Go on then.
Like it's weird. Like I'm trying to. I do think it was a bit of in the middle between 6 and 7. So that's what it levels it out as. Kind of agree, you guys. Thought it was a decent game. Definitely not as involved as Kovacic. Kovacic actually won 1 more tackle than him as well, which was interesting considering I thought Kovacic was the one going forward more. I don't know. Obviously, Kante's not a great finisher, but I still expect him to score that chance. We scored anyway, but still, I think.
Or just pass it. Like it's an easy
pass.
pass.
I was thinking that. Like, why would you just not tap it in, like square it for a tap in? But I mean, fair enough. It wouldn't really mattered anyway. He played decent, a little bit above average for me. Always hard. Like with a Kante masterclass, is obviously when he defends really well, and obviously he's great going forward, and he didn't really have to do that much defending today. But yeah, I thought the midfield was good. Not a duo that I traditionally like, but worked today, that's for sure.
Work today, that's for sure. That's very true. And like Rex Rubin, big shout out to you, Rex, by the way, said, we have nearly 200 viewers, 186, now 190. Make sure you smash that like button. Let's get to at least 100 likes. Just one click of a button. Really helps me out. Helps me out with the YouTube algorithm. Even if you don't know what that means, just click a like, please. And subscribe if you haven't already. We're on the road to 15,000 subscribers. Every new subscriber counts. So please do hit that big red subscribe button down below. Okay, we sit on a 6.5 then N'Golo Kante. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought he was totally irrelevant to the game. Like, other than when he obviously had his chip that then fell to Werner, he didn't really win the ball back that much. He was the only one that I noticed being run past. Kovacic always tried to get a tackle in and usually got the ball. You know, the same goes for Mount, had a couple of those occasions. Ruben, Alonso did. Obviously, the centre back's a bit different, but still. And whenever he had the ball, he just basically gave it to Kovacic or Ruben and let them do all of the things. So that's why I'm not sure why people will go particularly high for Kante, but hey, here we are. Let's move to the front three, because he's obviously more defensive than the other ones, I suppose, because especially in the second half, played more as a number 10.
Cover, bro.
I did miss cover. Thank you. My apologies. Kovacic. Pice, you mentioned it there. What were you rating?
I thought you was going to do a Mendy there. I guess we're doing Mendy at the end as well.
We are doing Mendy.
Kovacic, you know how much I rate him. I think we're just such a better team with him in midfield. A couple of sloppy passes at times, but I think overall he was brilliant. Like, I tweeted his stats. I think like I said, it was a bit of a balance today. Like, he won the most tackles in the team, won the most ground duels than anyone else, and made more attacking third passes than anyone else. So it was a bit of a balanced performance. He did everything: attack, defense. He's just like a buzz in that midfield. He covers so much ground as well. Now, I kind of want to push. No, I'm going to go Kovacic with a 9. Alonso's got an 8.5, and I think Kovacic was way more important in this game, especially for starting the attacks and constantly coming and picking the ball up and passing it forward, which I think is just so important. If we play quickly in midfield, we play so much better as a team, and I think that's what Kovacic really helps with. So, yeah, I'm going to go with a 9.
Okay, I've just looked at some stats, and it's absolutely outrageous that in our ratings, Alonso has a higher rating than we would love to see. Because every single stat other than goal is way worse. But anyway, here we are. Mateo Kovacic with a 9 to start with. Con, why don't I go with you? Is that as high as you'd go as well?
I don't know. Because at first I was thinking 8, but I was listening to what Pius was saying, and maybe 8's a bit too low because he was really important. I thought it was fantastic. Don't know. I'll go for 8.5.
Fair. Clutch. What about you?
I wanted Khan to give him the 9, so I can go 8.5. Just be different. But no, I'd probably give him a 9. He had, 120 touches, and out of 94 passes, 90% accuracy. That's pretty insane to me. Yeah, I'll go for the 9. Kovacic was brilliant.
Interestingly,
20 touches.
Like Con, I would have gone for the 8.5. Which means, ladies and gentlemen, in the chat, we need your help. So please do put in the chat whether you would have given Mateo Kovacic an 8.5 or a 9. If you name higher than that, it's going to count as a 9. If you name lower than that, it's going to count as an 8.5. So please put it in the chat. And I don't understand why we're going by stats now, but for Alonso and Ruben, we ignored stats. But anyway, 9. Pi swayed you. Fair enough. Very good or fair enough. Couldn't decide, so I said both. 9, 8.5, 9, 9, 9, 8.5, 9. Oh, 2 8.5s. All right, let's see what the next couple show. And then we'll go with that. 9, 8.5, 8.5.
It's pretty balanced, to be fair.
It is. Now there's a few 9s. You know what? I'll give you the 9. I said to you guys, we'll give the higher ones if it's on the edge. So why don't we do that? Let's now get to Mason Mount, like I already wanted to before. Sorry, cover. Yeah, I mean, I tweeted the meme. Appreciate Con for retweeting it as well. I mean, it couldn't have fit any better. Obviously, his shushing celebration said it all, really. He was obviously heavily criticized, funnily enough, always by our own fan base. I feel like Mason Mount is very much, I mean, obviously, Twitter weirdos, especially Arsenal fans, they obviously have nothing better to do than criticize Mason Mount because they think Emile Smith-Rowe is the next coming of Jesus. But hey, here we are. How did last 2 defeats? hope they're nice. But Mason Mount took that personally, that critique. Number one, got his hair cut, so he can't do a hair flick anymore. And number two, what an assist, what a goal. I mean, second goal was not much to rave about, but what an assist and what a goal. I mean, I think we're talking in the realms of 10 here, if I'm honest. It's a great goal. It's a great assist. Again, the second goal is not much to say to it, but at least he was there to pick up the pieces, I suppose. Positioning, I guess. There was. I remember in the chat, Clutch called it like the hero pass by Mason. I think when he tried to, was it out to Ruben? Was Reece? No, Reece wasn't wingback. So it might have been Ruben. Might have been Ziyech. I don't know. But he tried to like whiz it across along the floor around the edge of the box. But I think we're edging towards it at least. I mean, it's a minimum 9.5. But I think I'm going to say 10. I think I will. It's not the clearest of 10s I've given, but I reckon it's a 10. Pice, what do you think?
Oh, why did you have to do me first for this one? I don't know. I was leaning between 9.5 and a 10. What did he get? Was it 2 goals and assist? Is that right?
2 goals
Yes.
and assists. Yeah, there you go.
I mean, if this was Havertz, I would give him a 10. So I'm going to give Mount a 10. I have to. He's not my favourite player, honestly. But I have to. Today was great. And also the turn on the halfway line where he set up Alonso down the side. And then I think he eventually scored from it, actually. If it was him who scored from that attack, I'm thinking of...
I think
his energy was mad to get in the box, but all round he was brilliant. And don't have long hair again, because that haircut had him moving mad today. So I'll give him a 10. But I'm interested to see what you guys say, if it's a unanimous 10 or whether there's arguments for it.
Fair. Let me just quickly get to Mr. James S. Fighter UK. I'll pay you £50 a week to get Clutch off, man, please.
That's such a deal, bro. That's such a good deal.
We can sort that. I'll give you my PayPal. Clutch needs to give me his PayPal. I'll forward him 20. And I think we all have a good deal here. So James, get involved. DM me. I'll send you my PayPal. And once the money's in, you will not see Clutch again.
That's such a good deal, bro. It's such a good deal.
He said send PayPal.
Yeah, but the thing is, PayPal is my normal emails. I don't really want to put it in this chat here, if I'm honest. So DM me and I will give it to you.
He's serious. He's serious.
He probably is. He's not having it at all. But, just to make sure James really, gets involved and asks for my PayPal, do you agree with the 10?
Are you asking me that?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a 10 for sure. I think he was the best player on the pitch today. Sorry, Timo, you were not. Mason Mount was making things happen left and right. The pass over to Ruben for his goal that he got, his absolute wonder goal. He almost made something happen with that pass over to Ruben. He was pretty much doing everything. He even, his one bad touch I can remember, he went and got the ball back straight away that he passed right into one of the defenders and went and got it straight back. He was definitely my man of the match. 10.
Fair dues. To be fair, like Fantasy PJ Doors says, if you don't want to PayPal it and you want to super chat it, hey, you do you, bro. James, UK, UFC, whatever it was. 310 so far then. Yeah. Thankfully, no Jester today. Love you, Jester, but, no hat trick, so it can't be a 10. Con, 10 for you as well?
Yeah, bro, I'll give him a 10. I feel it was fantastic. Best player on the pitch today by a country mile. Great assist, great touch from him. His goal, his first one was just brilliant. Yeah, and even off the ball was fantastic. For me, 10 easy.
There you go. Sorry, I'm slightly distracted by the chat because now Jester, obviously, very rightly so, has said that off the super chats, YouTube does take a 30% cut, which is outrageous, but ask YouTube about that. But don't make that, make you hesitate from sending super chats. If you wanna send super chats, send super chats. Hey, Jester, I respect you for sticking by your word. I respect it. I can't even hate on it. It's banner. But 10s all round then for Mason Mount, which is lovely. Kai Havertz, now out of position in my opinion today. Obviously, Pice thought he was more in the middle, to be fair. But for me, he was more off the left, which not his best position. And considering he played that, it was pretty good. Obviously, the goal, we knew little about the goal. But in general, I thought he played a good game. Nothing outrageous, but I thought he played a good game. I'm going to give him an 8. Do people think that's too low? I think 8 is pretty reasonable. Now, do I think he should be higher rated than Alonso? Maybe not. So I'll say 8.5.
Laurenz, we can't have Alonso maybe down to an 8. I don't know. Like I'm just saying. Like
yeah, I agree. To be fair, I said 8 to start with, and then Clutch tried to convince me. But then I didn't see coming that you was gonna all ruin like that. I'm joking. No, but I still give Kai an 8.5. I think because the double roulette was just too good. Even if it's an 8, otherwise the double roulette gives him that extra 0.5. I reckon. Well, what guy? Double roulette. You don't see that very often. Con, I swear I haven't had you go first in a while. So why don't I ask you first? 8.5, a little bit high for Kai. I mean, obviously he scored, but not much to do with it, really.
Yeah, no, I'd give him 8.5 today. I thought he was great. He only played 45 minutes of football, but then 45 minutes are really good. It's the normal for Kai Havertz now. So yeah, 8.5.
Actually, a good shout, yeah. I mean, not that I forgot, but good to remind people that he was subbed off at half-time, which is not because he was bad, but because, you know, he played a lot of football and we were already 4-0 up, so we could give him a rest, which in the end was brilliant. Clutch. 8.5?
I think he was relatively quiet, to be honest. I think the 8.5. He did have that good turn that he did twice, but other than that, in his goal, his movement was good, I guess, but I probably, if I was being realistic, would have went for a 7.5. Not to say he was bad or anything, because he wasn't. I just didn't think he was really involved, so I'd probably go for a 7.5. But it's a good day. We scored 6, so give him the 8. I'll bump it up to an 8.
But sorry, did you say 8 or did you say 8.5? Not sure if you heard me.
I said 8.5, bro.
Oh, there you go. All good. Perfect. Okay, you went for the 8. Then let's leave the 8.5 on screen for the time being and let's see what Pi says. 8.5 too high for you? Would you go more for an 8? Would you go potentially even lower than that? What do you think, Pi?
I'll go with an 8. I think he played well. Also, we have to take into account he came off at half time, right? Didn't he?
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, he could have got even higher if he played longer, I believe, because I think he would have probably scored again or got involved in some sort of attack. For me personally, yeah, the double roulette was just shows the confidence on display right now. He's in great form. I think he's got 5 goals in his last 5 Premier League games, I think I saw. Not sure if that's right. Maybe, yeah, I think so. But, yeah, I mean, I go with an 8. I don't think it was an 8.5. I don't know. It's tricky. I'll go with an 8 just because he played a half, and I thought in that he did well, scored a goal. Would have been higher if he played longer, though, I think.
There you go. No, I think the 8 is okay as well. And just because Clutch was already being positive by giving him his 8, we'll take it down to an overall 8 as well. Let's get to Timo Werner. You know, just for curiosity's sake, I'll let Clutch go first. What was your assessment of Timo Werner today?
I think it was a typical Timo Werner game. We got, I mean, at least one of the games where he has goal contributions. He's not a 10, not for me. I'm going to struggle to say this, but I don't want to give him the 9, but I'm going to give him the 9. He had way too many opportunities. He hit every post there was to hit. Do you know how hard that is? That's a YouTube challenge that the sidemen do every Sunday. For me, I give him a 9. He doesn't start on Tuesday. I know people are going to forget that he's still a bad player, technically, not in all terms, but he's still a bad player technically, and we can't have that against Madrid. We cannot play him against Madrid and then be like, oh, wait a minute. That's why we don't play Timo most of the time. Yeah, we still need to score 2 against Madrid, and Timo's not going to be the guy to provide it. Good performance today. Like somebody said earlier, he basically turns into McGoldrick when we play Southampton, so there we go.
That really is his team. That really is where he shines. And where he feels most confident. Maybe we just sell him to Southampton. Maybe it'd be great for them. No, I'm joking. Not today. I won't take the piss too much. Pice, why don't I go with you next? Clutch said 9. Is that about where you'd go as well? A lot of people in the chat seem to be saying 10. But I'm not sure if they're joking or not.
I can't give him a 10 just because of the missed opportunities, but I did think he played really well, and in the preview yesterday, I said I think Werner will start because of the high line. And he did, and I think it worked. I mean, he scored a counter-attacking goal as well. Southampton notoriously do play a high line. That's why I always think, when you play the Liverpools and stuff, even though Werner does miss his chances, he something always happens with him. Like when we play these certain style of teams. We can talk about Real Madrid on Monday or whenever we do the preview because, again, that's an interesting debate because you've got two sides to the story there with what could happen. How the game could go, but I mean, it's hard to argue the 9, right? He scored 2 goals. Did he get an assist as well, or did he not? Can't remember.
No, it was not officially
an
an assist.
Against the post and it bounced to Havertz.
That's it. Yeah. I'll go over 9 because he scored 2 goals. Definitely.
Okay.
High as well, because I think the dummy as well for the one that hit the post was quite good.
The dummy
like
was good.
He seemed more confident, you know what I mean? He didn't lose the ball loads. He didn't piss me off.
Once he got his first goal, he looked much better. I agree.
Yeah.
Very, very true. Very true. Con, 2-9 so far. Is that about where you'd go as well? Would you go potentially even higher?
I'm not a massive fan of giving 2 players 10s, so I'm gonna give him a 9.5. I do think he was really, really good today. I know he missed chances, but at the end of the day, he still played really well. I really enjoyed today's performance from Timo. I really did. I can't lie. It was like a guilty pleasure. Shouldn't enjoy it as much as I did, but I did. I thought he was really good. He caused Southampton all kinds of problems. Scored 2 goals as well. Just a great performance all round from him. I really enjoyed it. I would give him a 10 if Mount didn't play so well. So blame Mount for that. But I thought he was fantastic today. And I can praise this game in isolation, I'm not saying Timo Werner is the way forward for Chelsea, but today definitely deserves these flowers. He was fantastic.
Fair. I mean, now, I like that people love to be so positive, but I also find it hilarious how people forget. Remember how Mount and Pulisic got scrutinized, villainized for the chances they missed. Timo misses from 3 yards and from 6 yards. No one cares. Because that's the standard. No one expects more. That's why people are throwing out 9s and 10s. It's ridiculous.
But to be fair, bro, he scored 2.
It was a tap-in.
He scored 2, bro. That's why we've got...
The defender gave him the ball. I'm not going to go that high, personally. Sorry, Con, what did you say?
He scored 2 goals, bro. That's why. If you miss chances... but
he was a threat as well. Did you not think he was an actual threat? Because I felt like he actually was today.
He looked like a different player. He could dribble, he could pass.
Let me give him my rating first, and you can have a go at me. Because maybe I won't even go as low as you think. I'm just going to say 8.5, okay? Just because you can't miss from 3 yards. Rob Ruben of an assist, all right? I don't just take that lightly. And also, there was just a few things. In the first half, he decided, okay, I'm going to try to be Neymar now, or Vinicius. Runs into the opponent. Then he... Was it Ruben or Kova? One of them fed them with a reasonable ball to the edge of the box. And he tries to play it to Kai, who was offside anyway, which Timo should have seen, but he didn't. And then he played the ball 10 yards away from Kai Havertz, out of play for a goal kick. People just forget about these things. Yeah, it was a threat, but yeah, I'm going to say 8.5. We sit on the 9 anyway. But,
bro, it's because he didn't get Loftus' assist, isn't it? That's the way it is.
Partly.
No, it's not partly.
No, it is. Come on.
But I said that already, bro. I said that. It's part of the reason, 1,000,000%. But I just don't understand. You were mentioning pass accuracy earlier, and then none of you even mentioned the fact that he tried to pass it to Kai Havertz and misplaced it by over 10 yards. And then you're giving him 9s and 9.5s.
Yeah, but midfielders are supposed to have better passing anyway, right? So
they are supposed to, but.
For me, the only reason he even gets a 9 is because he has 2 goals. If he has anything less, then he gets if he doesn't even have the 2 goals, if he has 1, I'm giving him a 4. He was absolutely terrible.
Bro, what?
This guy clutch, man. This guy clutch.
You guys, nah.
Did I start something in the chat? Is that what I just did? My bad.
I'm
kidding. He had a decent game. I'm not gonna lie. He had a decent game.
Give him his flowers. We don't get to praise Werner a lot. He played well for once.
Exactly.
He had a decent game. He had a decent game.
8.5. You're saying as if I said 5.
Yeah, but you know, you picked out the little moments. Like, let's just forget about those. You know, it's Werner had a madness. Come on.
Laurenz, your mouth said 8.5, but your eyes were saying 5. We can see through
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Right?
yeah.
No. My eyes were saying 7, okay, not 5. But hey, in the end, we sit on the 9 anyway. Let's do the halftime subs, which we did do on this occasion, not Silva. It was Kai that came off for Pulisic. Then the next subs were... Who was the next sub? Ziyech was the last one, wasn't he? The next one was Thiago, and he was replaced by Reece James, and then Mason Mount was replaced by Hakim Ziyech. Obviously, Pulisic gets the only full rating of the subs because obviously came on at halftime and played the same amount of minutes as Kai Havertz did. But of course, things are a little bit different if you play the second half and it's already 4-0. The urgency in the whole team will obviously be drastically different. Of course, he could have scored his goal, definitely. Would have, that obviously would have taken Mount's second goal away if Pulisic scores it and would have given Alonso the official assist. Otherwise, good, but nothing special. I'm gonna give him a 7. I think he was better than Kante still. People will probably hate me for that, but I do. So I'm gonna give him a 7. Price 7 too high for you potentially? Because I will be honest, he wasn't that involved. But like I said, I find it a bit difficult to be too harsh for that because we were 4-0 up. So I feel like no one that would have come on in the second half would have been like super outstanding just because, the game was won.
Yeah. I don't really know because, as you said, I didn't really notice him an awful lot. Trying to maybe Clutch will remember some more moments. 6.5, 6. I don't know. I don't think 7. I just didn't really notice him that much. Like, especially like coming on. I know it's 4-0, whatever, but I would have thought he would have, thought, oh, this is a really, really good opportunity, and just tried to dribble past like 10 players or something because everyone was so confident. But no, in all seriousness, I give him 6.5.
You know what? I think you've not swayed me, it's the wrong word, but you've made me think better of it.
Like, it says he only had 25 touches here in 45 minutes.
That's not great. How many touches did Ziyech have, for example? Obviously played less.
Ziyech had 29 touches in 21 minutes. So yeah, Pulisic was not really involved at all compared to Ziyech.
Kai had 25 in his first 45.
Yeah.
So it's not too much different.
So that's 2 more than Pulisic, is it? Or 1 more? What was it?
Maybe that just shows how much Ziyech gets on the ball. I don't know, like 25. It's not.
Obviously, Ziyech also played kind of the 10 role. Then let me actually make that change because in the second half, well, no, Timo was on the left, Pulisic was on the right, so we played it more like this. In the second half, definitely. Although arguably when Ziyech came on, then Ziyech was certainly more there than Mount was at the start of the second half. But hey, here we are. Let me put it up like this. But yeah,
I'll go in with 6.
Okay, fair dues. I'll stick to my 6.5, but fair dues. You have your 6. You know what, Clutch? I saved you to last. So, Con, even though you're obviously arguably as big a fan of Pulisic as Clutch is anyway, a 6.5 for myself, a 6 from Price. Whereabouts would you go?
I'm going to be kind because we did win 6-0. I'll give him a 6. He wasn't involved at all today. And you'd think, like, you score like a good lead, everyone's confident, you're going to try to get on the ball as much as possible and all that. He's still kind of shied away from it, man. He needs to get over whatever's going on in his head right now because, yeah, mate, we got a hard season to finish off, like, to fix up a little bit, please. But there was one thing I really liked that he did today, and not many people pick up on it, but he passed in this pocket of space into Ziyech. And that sort of passing, I want to see more from our players because that little pass, it created that chance for Alonso that he hit wide. So I like the little stuff he was doing like that. That was good. I don't know. It feels harsh me giving him 6, but like I know police standards and he's better than that. You know, I'm not going to overprotect him.
You obviously thought Kante was better than maybe I did anyway. But you really think it was? Because obviously you wanted to give Kante a 7. You really think it was a full point worse than Kante?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's not that he was worse. It's just not as involved.
There you go. Of course, yeah. No, there you go. Fair enough. 2 6s then so far, 1 6.5 Clutch. Where will you go with it?
Well, let me start with saying the game slowed down immensely, and there were quite a few times that Pulisic was making the run in behind, and we didn't pass it to him. One Ziyech shot wide, one Kovacic overhit him. There were times Pulisic tried to get involved with making runs.
Fully guaranteed as a goal if Kova doesn't overhit that pass.
So there were times that Pulisic should have got involved. There were times that they passed the ball into him in crowded spaces where they were like, oh yeah, just do whatever, win that crowded space, and he would just lose the ball. I remember the one at the top of the box. He was like against 5 defenders and he got like overran. With that being said, he was still not good. His best plays that I've seen was his shot, even though that shot should have been a goal, I think. I think he should have put that in. And then he came back on defense at one point and came in and stopped a cross from all the way at the top of the box. I'd give him a 5 because I thought he wasn't that great.
A 5? Fair enough.
I mean, I can't give... I think he was worse than Ziyech and James, but I think there are better reasons for him not being as good. I do think when he came on, we were basically... we weren't chasing the game, or we weren't trying to go for more. We weren't really pushing as hard as we could. We were just making silly, sloppy mistakes and stupid passes. Because Kovacic should have an assist to Pulisic too. Like, that should have happened. But it is all in hindsight, so I would have given him a 5.
Okay. Not sure if that leaves us in the end. Yeah, I think it's probably a 6 anyway. But fair enough. I just wanted to say something and I forgot again. Doesn't matter. Let's move on to Reece James, who came on. Now, let me actually shift that round because Reece James, funnily enough, was actually playing at right centre-back while Ruben remained as the right wing-back, which is only interesting in the sense that obviously Ruben already against away at, Luton, away at Luton in the FA Cup, actually played central centre-back for 60-odd minutes in that game until he moved into midfield. And was great first half, but then was reasonably solid after that, I suppose. Made me think Reece James might play right centre-back rather than right winger against Real Madrid on Tuesday, potentially to make sure to deal with Vinicius Jr. a little bit better. But people might not be aware, Azpilicueta called the Rona, which will obviously also keep him out of the Tuesday game. So then that makes me then think, well, Reece won't play right centre-back because we need him at right wing back if we don't have Aspi. I doubt we're going to play Ruben at right wing back at Real Madrid, especially considering Ruben wasn't even subbed off today. I feel like if that was the plan, as in an already fixated plan now, we probably would have subbed him off, I assume. But yeah, so who knows where Reece is going to be on Tuesday. Obviously, all share your thoughts if you have much thoughts on that already. But in terms of performance, obviously had that one shot where he kind of went for glory a little bit and then didn't hit too well, but it only went a little bit wide. But other than that shot, I did not notice a single thing of Reece James. Once he nearly got beat and made up for it with a good tackle. Okay, Timo would say, well, I noticed him. So that's why I wanted to give Pulisic higher, because I don't think Reece did anything wrong. And I want to give him an average 6. But I think Pulisic was better and more... Obviously, he played longer as well than Reece James, of course. But still, that's why I wanted to give Pulisic more than a 6, just because I'm probably going to give Reece James a 6. But I guess then I'm going to have to give him a 5. But I'm going to give him a 6 anyway. I don't care. But obviously, he gets it with a star. But Con, number 1, do you think the fact that he came on at right centre back could be anything? Could be a hint for Tuesday, or do you think nothing to do with that? And also, what would you rate him?
No, I think it could be a hint because we saw what happened against him with Vinicius, So I think it could be a hint. I would want restarting right centre back if possible, to be honest, against Madrid. And the rating, I don't know, man, maybe a 6. Just came on, did his thing, innit? Like just the average sort of thing, innit? Just came on, just did his thing. Don't know if I'm being a bit too harsh there, but
yeah, potentially. I'm just confused by what Clutcher was telling me in the private chat because on his screenshot you can't see all of the stats. So I'm not sure if you want me to actually show that because there is more stats if you scroll further down. So tell me. I wanted
because somebody was arguing with me that Werner had 2 assists, and they said very clearly it said he has 2 assists, and right there it says 0. I just wanted that to be shown while we were talking about Werner, but we're past that now.
Who would he have a second assist for anyway?
I don't know. Somebody was very much saying that he...
Well, he definitely only has 1 assist. And that's only if he hits the post and you count that as an assist, which it definitely isn't because it was just a miss, essentially. But hey, hence why I didn't want to go as high as you. I am very sorry, Con, how rude of me, because I was trying to figure out what Clutch was trying to tell me with that. I didn't actually hear whether you agreed with the 6 or whether you wanted to go with Noah.
Yeah, I said 6 as well, bro.
Fair dues. Clutch, why don't I go with you? 6 as well for you?
Yeah, I do think he was just kind of average. He was just there to kind of see the game out and probably get his legs some running in. Unfortunately, I don't think he'll play right center back because I don't think we will play a back 3. I think we will go for an attack with playing in a back 4 to try to make up that deficit. Because like you said the other day,
playing right centre back is probably closer to a normal right back than a right wing back is in the way we played at 5-0 up by the time 6-0 up by the time he came on. So
yeah, I think with us being 2 down and like you said, if we concede anything anyway, it's over. So we're probably going to try to go for the attack from the beginning, and then we'll shift into the back 3 with James as a right center back if we end up kind of bringing it back closer.
Could be. Also very interesting who would be the left back in that scenario. Then we'll talk about that Monday, I suppose. Okay, 3 6s then so far, Pi. So probably unlikely for you to change James's rating. But would you go along with the 6 or?
I was going to go NA personally. I remember the one tackle he made, but I don't remember anything else. He played 27 minutes.
Yeah, the one shot I presume you remember that he.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, I actually thought that went in, but it was one of those ones on stream where it like fizzed across the ground. I was like, "Yep, that's it," and it just wasn't.
Yeah.
But,
I also think Forster made that look a lot more dangerous than it was because I think Forster knew very early on that was going wide because that ball didn't have that much pace in it. So, and Forster is huge. So he would have, I think, comfortably got to it had it been on target, but obviously we'll never know, I suppose. I mean, NA 6, I guess, similar if you think about it.
6.
With subs. Hakim Ziyech then obviously was involved. I will say, obviously, towards the end of games, I'm always trying to prepare these streams so it doesn't take so long after the full-time whistle to when we get going. So I might have missed a couple of things that he did. He had a couple of shots. I remember him having a couple of passes where I'm like, that could have been a better pass. But I'm struggling, if I'm honest. So, Pice, if you want to go first, do you want to give him an NA? Obviously, he played even less than Reece, but or did you notice him enough to say
No, I didn't, honestly. I know he had more touches than Pulisic, but I don't remember any of it. I don't remember any crosses he put in. Don't remember having a shot. So I'll let the other 2 boys speak, but I can't personally think of anything he did off the top of my head.
Okay, that's pretty reasonable, I would say. Con, is there much of a rating you would give out, or would you go for an NA?
He did create that chance for Alonso.
True.
Other than that, he was only on for really at 20 minutes, and it was just moving the ball about. The one where Pulisic passed it in a little space to Ziyech, and then Ziyech passed it to Alonso, then Alonso just struck it wide.
Must have missed that, to be fair.
Yeah, it was quite late. I would have guessed like 75th, 80th minute-ish. And Alonso, similar strike to Timo very early where he hit the post on the opposite side. Alonso struck it and dragged the wide of the other far post.
So other than that, he didn't really do much. He was just on the pitch, sort of just moving the ball around, really.
Yeah. He was being super intense. Like he was, whenever he lost the ball, he was chasing after it like an absolute madman. But which I always respect him for and like him a lot for, if I'm honest. But that suggests to me an NA for you as well, then, Con? Or
I wouldn't mind giving him like a 7-ish, 6 or 7-ish, or NA. Don't mind.
6 or 7-ish, 6.5-ish then.
Sounds good to me, bro.
Just because if we're not all set on the NA, let's give them a rating. Why not? They all paid their dues today, I suppose. Clutch then, unless you're gonna shout at me, give him an NA. Shout it, but otherwise, what rating would you give him?
I would never shout at you, Laurenz. You know that. I'll give him a 6. I think he was average. I do think he probably should have played a ball into Pulisic in behind instead of taking the shot. But that would be my only mark against him because he did create that chance for Alonso, so it evens itself out to be a 6.
I'm not even sure what to compare your voice just now to, if I'm honest. It sounded kind of like
it was
an
my
ad
calm voice.
like a weird American ad. Okay, so a 6. I'd probably go along with Con 6.5, if I'm honest. Pies, do you want to give a rating, or shall I just do it out of 3?
I was going to go with an NA personally.
There you go. I'll do it out of 3 and give him a 6.5. All good. Then to finish it off, Thomas Tuchel and the performance. Now, last time I realized it makes more sense to do the performance first, so that's what we shall do. I mean, Round already has a sub, so that makes it a bit more difficult. So I guess we'll give that to Timo Werner up here. Performance then, ladies and gentlemen. Nice. Can't give that an NA. So
What about
would you rate
Mendy
it
and
for?
Tuchel?
Tuchel, I realize, comes last, but thank you for reminding me of Mendy. Nice. Mendy. How do I always forget this? Mental.
6.5 because he made that save. Otherwise, 6.
Okay.
Don't know what else to say, to be honest. He didn't really have to do much. Would have given
Didn't
him.
make a distribution mistake today, so that's
No,
good.
yeah, I was going to say, like, I thought he was all right with the ball. Don't remember Southampton having many corners. Didn't mess up on that good ball that Ward-Prowse put in at the start, out on the left-hand side. You know, some keepers come out and misjudge those kind of crosses, but he
Yeah.
didn't. So I'll give him a 6.5 for the save, because even though it wouldn't have meant a lot, great for him to keep a clean sheet, confidence, you know.
I agree with that. Absolutely. Clutch, 6.5 for you, potentially a 7 maybe?
No, I'm going to go 7. I thought that save was going to do him wonders. We need him to have a little bit more confidence going into that second Madrid game, because if we're going to play the way I think we're going to play with a back 4, he's going to be tested quite a bit. So I think he's going to need to be in top form. So for me, I'm going to give him that extra bit of love today and give him the 7.
Cool. I would actually personally probably agree, just shouting that in there before to maybe sway Con away from also saying 6.5 and me needing to ask the chat. Con, what would you rate Mendy?
No, I'm happy with 7. It's a good save. Point blank. Yeah, really good. So other than that, I didn't really have to do much. So above average because he made a really good save.
Fair dues, yeah, to be fair. We gave a couple of players always the benefit of the doubt and pushed them up that 0.5 rating. So why not also for Mendy? Now let's get back to the performance. And yeah, Clutch, I realized I want to do Tuchel after performance because the performance is the actual players while the manager is the manager. So I realized makes more sense this way around. So performance, Con, why don't I go with you first? Performance overall, I mean, we won 6-0. Doesn't really get closer to a 10 than that, does it?
No, yeah, it's a 10 today. Clean sheet. You win 6-0. Could have been more. I think Fraser Forster, by the way, he had a good game. Considering it was 6-0, I think he still had a good game. Because that save from Timo, that was a ridiculously good save. See how high his hand was up to save that. It was a brilliant save.
Maybe that is why I was a bit harsher on Timo than all of you guys, because I still haven't seen a replay back of that. Because I don't know, my stream or the Sky X of Sky Germany where I was watching that froze. So I never saw the replay of it. So I'm still not sure whether it was a great save more than a miss or whatever.
Can I just say something that my stream commentator said, which I agree with watching it back? It was a good save, but if Werner let the ball bounce and then tucked his foot around it, I think he scores.
So back on my point of not giving him a 9 then. But Pice.
Well, maybe, yeah.
Pice, clear 10 today, isn't it, in the overall performance?
I don't know. Like, obviously 6 goals. People probably think I'm fucking nuts, but I don't know. I'm greedy. I don't really like the way we slowed down. To be honest with you, kind of annoyed me towards the end. I wanted more goals. Maybe that's too greedy, but nah, 10. We won 6-0. If that don't get a 10, what does? I was gonna go 9.5, but it's got to be a 10. We scored 6.
Yeah, exactly.
I felt like we could have scored more. You know what I mean? Like there's a few times like kind of where we was going to go forward and then like Alonso would turn back. He did it quite a few times and pass it back. I was just like, maybe that's why I missed the chance at the end from Alonso, because I was kind of on and off my phone and watching it. I just kind of felt like the players were like, yeah, this is done. Can't be bothered anymore. You know what I
mean? Which I also understand, considering we play again on Tuesday away from home. But yeah, no, I do see what you mean. Definitely, I guess the different way of looking at it, considering we had chances and didn't score more, is the other option is we score 6 and those are all of our 6 chances, meaning we only create those 6. But we even created more, because that's why I put it on in the title and or on Twitter and the thumbnail as well. We can actually attack. Like, I mean, I said it in the intro already. Like, I haven't seen us play attacking football like this. Of course, Southampton being poor helped us. Of course, a couple of early goals helped us a lot in that as well. Because say we don't take any of those and then it's 0-0 after 35 minutes, the game could go all sorts of ways. But because we, Alonso especially, obviously the first one and then the 2-0, that really, opened things up. So I thought we were great today. I'm going to definitely back to 10. Clutch, will you as well?
Yeah, I back to 10. I think, even though I think Southampton were one of the poorer teams we played, you can only play the team in front of you. And after giving up 7 goals in the last 2 games, we go out and put out 6. Pretty much evens out our total back to it from what we gave up. So this is what we need.
Over the last 3 games, have a goal difference of 8-7. So,
which is still scary. It's still scary considering we scored 6 today. No, but yeah, I think it was a good performance coming into Madrid, which is going to be our defining game this season, I think. I think we really need to go out there and do this to them to kind of prove our point, because we are so much better than what we've seen midweek. We are so much better than that. And we're so much better than what we've seen against Brentford, to be honest. And we're so much better than what we've seen against today. No matter even if we scored 6 goals. We can do that. We should beat Southampton like that. Probably 8 times out of 10.
We should beat anyone 6-0, but...
Southampton, I think we could. I think the bottom half of the table we could. But
they're only 13th. Clutch, they're 13th. I mean, they drew with Man City at home this season. Like, they're not as bad as you kind of say they are.
Obviously, Southampton, Pi said it in the chat, Southampton either give you a super tough game or you batter them. That's kind of no in between.
That's why I felt like we deserve the plaudits today, because how many times this season do we have a shit first half and then make it hard for ourselves? Like, we just came out and scored 3 quick goals in 20 minutes, game done. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I want us to do that more, bro. There's so many times, especially when I've been to games this season, crap first half. Like, I almost just judge our performance on the second half, because it's like the first half is usually a write-off. I don't know what it is with us. Tuchel can go mental on the sideline, but a lot of the time we just play awful in the first half. Like, we don't get going, but maybe he does need to shout at them more. I don't know.
So please shout at them non-stop until the game starts on Tuesday, because a quick start is exactly what we need. Because if we get a quick start, and someone said it in the chat there, I mean, I'm not sure if I quite agree with it in this wording of things. Madrid can melt at the Bernabeu on occasion. I think it's just, if things go badly at the Bernabeu, the crowd can turn against them so hard that now that they don't have Ronaldo, I mean, they have Benzema to bail them out of shit, but they don't have Ronaldo to bail them out of shit. So if we get the crowd against them, if we get a quick start, that could change everything. So again, if it needs shouting to make that happen, let's do it. I'm going to put Tuchel with Ruben over here, just because, to me at least, obviously Aspi catching the Rona was the main reason for this happening, but still, tactical masterclass. Did the biggest rogue call was in my opinion definitely just to start Ruben out there, and it worked a treat. My days, did that work a treat? Because all of us combined were pretty critical of Tuchel over the past 2 games. Also about certain things that he said after the game. I didn't think how he let the negativity win over himself so much in his initial reaction after Madrid. Not in the sense of being angry at the performance and the players. I understand that completely, and I like that too. But the whole thing, even if it was partly misquoted, is the tie over? As far as I'm aware, he didn't reply just plainly yes. He said yes if we play like this type thing. But still, that part I didn't like so much. And obviously, none of us were particularly happy with tactics, lineups, whatever in the past 2 games. Okay, lineup we were actually happy against Madrid, but against Brentford at least. I'm going to give him a 10 today, because he made up for things that he messed up. And he really, he said after Madrid, he said he will make sure that the team understands that we can't play like this anymore, or we can't play like this again, and this is unacceptable. And oh boy, did he make sure. You can't expect more than that. Like, we struggled so much. Like, all of us. Like, when I saw the team, honestly, someone tweeted me score prediction. I replied 3-1 Southampton. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's how down in the mud I was after the last 2 games and seeing the lineup. Obviously, as Con said, in future we need to hold our horses. But the last 2 games just put me on the knife's edge. Like I said, I tweeted that after the Madrid game. It was just a bit a nail in a coffin for me, that game, where I'm just like, I don't trust us with anything at the moment. And then today happens, and I'm like, maybe I need to. And that Obviously, a lot of credit needs to go to the players because they executed it, but also a lot of credit needs to go to Thomas Tuchel because the players didn't execute it the last 2 games, and I think it's more on Tuchel than the players themselves that they flipped that coin and came out on the better side of it, I suppose, and hopefully we can just continue that run on the better side, I guess, on Tuesday. But yeah, I'm going to give him a 10. I don't think there's much to complain about. The only thing I would say, especially in hindsight with how the game went, we really didn't have to play Thiago Silva, but I guess at least he was subbed off, so it's a positive. But who went last? Clutch, you went last on the performance, so why don't you go first after myself for Thomas Tuchel? Do you agree with the 10, or are there small things that there are to criticize?
I'll tell you what I like to see. I like to see that notebook of his of notes that he wrote down while he was eating pounds and pounds of chocolate watching the Madrid game again. I want to see what he wrote down in that. That's what I want to see from Thomas Tuchel, because I guarantee you it's filled with not good words for many, many players. But no, it has to be a 10. I mean, with the lineup he put out and how much we were all doom and gloom, how we were going to lose this game and Madrid was done, and then we go out and do this, it has to be a 10. It's just Tuchel again showing why he gets paid the big bucks, and we sit here and we laugh at our what would you call it? Silliness is what I'm going to call it. We're silly for doubting him.
There you go. Yeah, we are silly for doubting him, that's for sure. Let's just hope we can keep this attacking going. I'm just trying to follow up with the chat here when I've missed anything. Someone said we need to do the whole Mason Mount thing. And actually, we'll spare 2 more words on this after we finish the Tuchel thing. Con, 10 for Tuchel as well in your eyes?
Of course, bro. 10. Performance was perfect, and that's down to him, you know. And also, he managed to save Kai Havertz. You know, he only had to play 45 minutes. Thiago Silva, he came off as well. So just stuff like that as well, because we got Madrid in midweek. It's just good management, isn't it? So yeah, 10 for me for Super Tommy T.
There you go. Appreciate it. Price, 10 for you as well, I presume?
Yeah, 100%. You guys kind of said everything. I think good subs, good time to rest players. And yeah, the performance was great. A lot of us start with the lineup, or more so in my point of view, we just doubt the players that start because they're not our preferred players, and we've seen them, likes of Alonso and Werner and stuff like that, what can happen when they play usually. But yeah, the players, and I guess Tuchel proved us wrong today, although for me personally, I've always loved Tuchel and believed in Tuchel. I wasn't really angry with him that much after the Real Madrid game. Personally, it was more on the players, but I give him a 10 today for sure.
Fair dues. Now, one thing, as I will quickly move away from the screen because we are kind of done with this, one last thing I quickly want to talk about is Mason Mount, because I'm going to ask you guys what you think, because there's a lot of criticism about him from time to time. Sometimes it's after one game and he, like against Liverpool, when he misses big chances. Sometimes it's when he has a couple of games that you know are not quite up to the standard. But what I think happens in these situations is it's okay to say he was poor. Sometimes I think people over-exaggerate with how poor he was in certain occasions, and then it's kind of become this thing that a lot of people just agreed that he just wasn't that good this season. I'm not saying he was great this season, but to say he's had a poor season with numbers like this is crazy. I know it's not all about numbers, and I know not all of these assists or whatever are from open play, but does it matter? At the end of the day, these numbers mean goals. And imagine we would score even less goals. Like, you know, we already struggle for goals as it is sometimes. Not today, of course, but we already struggle for goals as it is sometimes. To have 23 goals and assists in all competitions by early April, like he could be on course to have 30 goals and assists in all competitions by the end of the season. And please, someone tell me, when was the last time any player at Chelsea had that? Because Diego Costa never got to that. Of course, he only ever scored goals, and he had the thing where in his first season, he basically didn't score in any competition other than the Premier League because the Carabao Cup final goal against Spurs was given as an own goal. So he quite literally scored 20 goals, all of which in the Premier League. In the second season, then he just wasn't quite on it. In the third season, then we didn't play Champions League, so he could only really score Premier League and Cup goals. someone please tell me when anyone got anyone near even 25 goals and assists in a season, let alone 30. Like double-digit Premier League goals, if you're not a striker, even if you're a forward, it's not that bad. I mean, I saw it compared. He has more even Premier League goal contributions than Sadio Mane. Like, that's why I'm so... Like, I'm not saying he's been great all season long, but at the end of the day, what we all craving for, like, that's why we signed Lukaku in the first place. What we wanted is goals. The only guy that's given us goals on a regular basis this season is Mason Mount. Obviously, Kai Havertz has done recently, but only recently, not for the whole season. Mount has, for the most part, sure, with the spells of a few games here and then, where he was maybe struggling in terms of output, but 23 goals and assists is not bad. And Mount, of course, got a hat-trick against Norwich. I understand that. And obviously got 2 goals and an assist today as well. But, like, they need to come from somewhere. Do you think Sterling, when he scored 40 goals a season, didn't score a lot of them against Leicester sides? Like, everyone will. Mo Salah does. Like, that's how it goes. So, Con, why don't I start with you first? What's your perspective on the criticism that Mason Mount faces at parts and this seeming perspective or opinion or whatever that he's been bad this season? Like, again, I'm not saying he was amazing, even though the numbers might suggest he was amazing. But like I always say, it's always a mix of stats and eye test. But I think it's crazy how people tried to say he was awful all season. I just find that baffling.
Sorry, Kovacic just scored. I was just watching the goal. With Mason Mount, it's a funny one because last season I think his level of performance was better. I thought all round his game was just better. But this season, he's got my output. And Chelsea fans were always saying, oh, our attackers don't give us output, right? And Mason Mount was doing that, but the performances ain't quite as good. And people are still moaning. So it's kind of hard. You can't win. You know, unless you have a ridiculous performance and get output. But come on, man. He's 23 years of age. He's far from the finished product yet, you know. Like, give him some slack. I've been on his case at times. I think he could have done a lot better. The Real Madrid, anyone wants to listen to that, I really wasn't kind to him.
And I think it's absolutely fair, by the way, for after individual games where he was bad to criticize him. But what I just, and you, I don't think you did that, but what I then find weird is when people will say, when he has had, any players had one bad game, to turn it into, they're now full stop, just only shit. It's like with Timo Werner, people say he must start against Real Madrid. I'm like, no, just because he played good today doesn't mean he's now not a shit footballer all of a sudden. Like,
yeah, bro, that's the thing though, especially with Mason Mount and Jorginho, with these two players in particular, I feel very sorry for, because a lot of the times people don't even care about how good that player is. It's just a bunch of point scoring of sections of the fan base who don't like each other. There's people. If you look at the people who really go over the top of the Mount hate, and if you look at the people who really go over the top of the Jorginho hate, they're big fans of either Jorginho and Mount. It's point scoring, bro. The majority of it is just point scoring. And for the other people who just go over the top with it, it's just reactionary. And it's understandable. We're all reactionary at times. It's an emotional sport. We get our emotions in it. But I think Mace he could have had a lot better of a season, don't get me wrong. But when I looked at those stats, I didn't realise he actually had that good. So maybe I've been a bit harsh on him. Like,
obviously helped by the fact that he had 2 goals today and 1 assist today. So
yeah, but like you said, bro, like your Salahs, your Bruno Fernandes is a brilliant example. Like, where are they getting all their goal contributions from, bro? They're not getting it against the big teams. And how many big teams are in the league, bro? You got Man City, Liverpool. They're the only 2 serious teams. And then you got like your Arsenals, your Tottenhams, and the rest are your Burnleys, your Norwiches. You know, there's a lot more smaller teams in the Premier League. So of course you're going to rack up more goal contributions. You're playing them more. You know, there's probably about, I don't know, you play against probably 12 to 13 teams you expect them to get a goal or assist against, you know? So, of course, you're going to rack up more. So, I don't know. For 23 years old, that's not bad at all. That's really not bad at all.
Exactly. And I mean, I'm not sure if Ivan is correct here, but it sounds about right that he's the first one that's getting anywhere near these numbers in terms of goal contributions in all competitions over a season since Hazard 18-19. And we all know how amazing Eden Hazard mainly was for us. And Mason Mount is nowhere near that level. So I wouldn't even expect him to be anywhere near the output that Hazard had in that season, because Hazard that season was outstanding. And then the next one that you go back to that had these numbers is probably Drogba. Like, I can't think of anyone that would have had
Costa?
anyone near it. 20, like obviously with the season's not over. I'm saying I back him to get like 7 more assists and goals until the end. So I back him to get to 30 overall. But I don't think Oscar got anywhere near that. I mean,
No, I meant Costa.
Costa. Yeah, no, but like I said earlier, he only ever scored 20 goals a season. And how many assists did he ever have?
He must have had a few, considering he was playing around Fabregas, Hazard, William.
True,
I'd have
but
to check that.
probably not 30. But obviously, we
Yeah.
don't know yet whether he's going to get to 30. So maybe it shouldn't jump the ship. But one last thing I will say, obviously, Pice, you can jump in more after that and Clutch as well. One other thing I will say is people always say, it's just stat padding against Norwich, stat padding against Southampton. Now, but at the same time, the people criticize the fact when he doesn't do it against Burnley, where we drop points, Everton, where we drop points. Did we drop some points against Southampton at home as well? I feel like we might have done. Against these kinds of teams, when we drop points, they complain. But without Mount's hat-trick against Norwich, for example, without Mount's great assist for the 1-0 today and the great goal for the 2-0 today, these games might go exactly like the ones against Burnley did, like the ones against Everton did. If these things don't come like they did today, those games might end up exactly those ways, but then you will have certain individuals coming here. It's just that padding against poor teams. I mean, not wrong to some extent, but you're also complaining when they don't do it against those poor teams. But when they do it, you say it's just the poor teams. So which one is it? Because nobody else is doing it against these poor teams. You can say, it's only against Norwich. But who else scored a hat-trick against Norwich? No one. Who else scored 2 goals and got 1 assist today? No one. I mean, yeah, okay, people are probably going to say, but Timo Werner purposely hit against the post, so he got an assist for Havertz. But you know, I mean, that's all I'm trying to say. But Pice, what's your thoughts on the whole situation?
Yeah, I agree with Con. I think he was better last season, more consistent. And I think it's like it's just Twitter in general and social media. Like, sure, it happens. Like Instagram's bad for it as well. You know, there's so many screenshots that come over on Twitter and with the Instagram comments and shit like that of when you have a bad game, everyone's like, yeah, you're crap, get out the club. Like, it's just social media. People want attention. Like, there's like a account as well, which is like Mount Out and does fail comps of him only when he has bad games. I mean, that's stupid. And like, sorry, he does have really bad games. Like, when he has a bad game, like, they're bad. He loses the ball a lot. You know, bad corners, whatever, just doesn't influence it. But like, the stats are, I don't really know what to think of the stats because, like you said, like there's 2 ways you can look at it. Like, without those goals against the bottom half teams or the lesser teams, you know, Chelsea don't pick up as much points and stuff like that. And he definitely has influenced games. And then there is another side of it, like how many goals and assists has he got against the big teams? Should he be taking more responsibility and getting more goals and assists now that he's been in the squad a few seasons? Like, there's 2 ways you can look at it. So, I mean, my overall thoughts, he's a good player. Would he be in my front 3 long term? No. Would he be in my in my 4 at the back midfield? Probably, yeah. Because I think he's going to stay here a long time. But like, I just think, like, from my personal experience, like, there's the Mount haters and then there's the Mount lovers, which that call him like generational, and I'm just like, shut up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I saw someone comparing to Hazard the other day. Like, do you have any shame? Like, do you know how good Hazard was? Like, he's possibly alongside Zola, even though I didn't watch Zola, the most talented football we've ever had in our attack. And you know, has Hazard won a Champions League and all that bollocks? Like, yeah, Mount's definitely a big discussion point on Twitter.
Well,
but
Hazard didn't win the Champions League.
Exactly, and that's what the Mount, you know,
Uh-huh.
like cults say. They say like, oh, where's Hazard's Champions League? Did he get a Champions League final assist? And that's where I think sides clash because people are just like, well, you need to respect Hazard. No, he
But
didn't
it is
get a
still
Champions
true
League
that
final
Hazard
assist.
goes to too much in big Champions League games.
That is true. But then again, that's fact. But then again, it's like, is Mount ever gonna, you know, have a season or seasons like Hazard had in his life in terms of
No, probably not. But
the
it's
sheer
also less
influence? Like, you know what I mean?
So there's no shame in that.
Exactly. Like, that's what I mean. Like, there's so much back and forth over Mount on Twitter. It's just there's a lot of haters and a lot of lovers, and I think the people in the middle are like myself, Con, you know, a few other accounts where just like, yeah, he's good, and he's definitely a future of Chelsea. we wouldn't sell him, but I don't go over the top with Mount. I personally don't think he's as talented as Havertz. That's my opinion. If you don't like it, deal with it. You know what I mean? It's just preferences. But yeah, long-winded answer, but I don't think he's having a bad season, Laurenz. I think he's having a good season. I don't think he's having a great season, taking everything into context.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And you said something good there earlier. 100% would it be good if he did more against big teams sometimes? Now, number one, big teams will defend well, right? So it's more difficult to do that against better teams. That's quite literally how it works. But my question would then be, why do people pick out Mount as the guy to be critical of? Because our results at certain times against big teams haven't been good enough overall. So other than Kai, and again, Kai, other than Liverpool in the first half of the season, only the last 2 months, other than that, none of our players, especially forwards, have been good enough against the big teams, really. So why do people pick up Mount to criticize one? And that's just what I find weird. And I mean, you say that, will Mount ever have a season like Hazard? I don't know what Hazard's highest goal contribution was.
But it's not just goal contributions. I mean,
no. But I'm saying in terms of goal contributions, he might have a season better than
Hazard's best goal contributions in the Premier League was 16 goals and 15 assists. And there's only like 4 other Chelsea players. I think I remember tweeting it. There's like 4 other Chelsea players in history that have done that. And a lot of them were against big sides. So
there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, people might hate me for this now, but one other thing I will say: Frank Lampard was not the most talented player to ever play at this football club, but he's arguably, you could obviously throw John Terry in there, you could throw Hazard in there, you could throw some of the much older guard in there, obviously, like Bobby Tamling and whatever else. But you don't need to necessarily be the most talented player to have the best career as a player. Like Kai Havertz is probably more talented than Mason Mount. Who will have the better career will not just be depending on talent. I think Kai has also the work rate and attributes to make sure his more talent also brings him further. But there's never a guarantee for that. And, like Frank Lampard, like I said, Frank Lampard was a very, very good player. But was he the most talented player in the country or at the club? No. But he bloody made sure, he was effective. And if Mount's he's only getting, like, again, he's 23. At the age of 23, Frank Lampard hadn't even played a Champions League game yet. Like, think about this. Before you start criticizing players too early, sometimes, I think. But hey, football has changed, I suppose. Clutch, any sort of last thoughts you want to throw in on this before we round this out?
Well, obviously, Pulisic is my favorite player, but a lot of people don't know that Mount is actually my second favorite player on the team. I absolutely adore Mason Mount. But with that being said, I think people need to understand that, like, this problem of, like, every player, especially in our attack, has somebody who hates them. Some people are louder. Pulisic, J5 gets attacked all the time. Ziyech gets attacked all the time. Mason Mount does. Every one of them gets attacked on Twitter. That's just how it is. People have favorites. They think one player is taking from another player. They see different things. I think Mason Mount probably plays a little too high to get the best out of him. Like, one of the things I think is his strong suit is passing from deep, and we don't see it as much. We've seen it today, and we've seen how good he was at it. Why we don't use that a little bit more, just because he presses a little bit higher and better than a lot of people. I think it's just overreactions is what this all comes down to. A lot of people don't look at it from like a context kind of perspective. No, he does not get the goal contributions in big games, but at the same time, nobody really does. You can kind of say the same thing about Pulisic. He shows up in big games, turns down for little games. So what's the difference? You need to be showing up for both at the same time. But the stats itself, it's not like he's having a bad season. He has goals and contributions, something that a lot of people criticize him for. It's like even today he had an open play assist that people, he doesn't get open play assist. Well, he did today, and it was really good. He can do it. It's not that he can't do it. It's just I think we fail to realize the positions we are trying to play in our system are not exactly suited to a lot of these players, but they make the best out of it. So I think the fan base needs to relax and understand that you can take games by game basis, to judge a player off of without making them seem like they're terrible. Mason Mount's not a terrible player. Pulisic's not a terrible player. Even Timo Werner's not a terrible player in his own right. It just takes the system and technically, yes, Timo Werner is really bad, but that doesn't make him a bad player. If you put him in against a league like the Bundesliga who play high defense or high lines, he's going to kill it again. That's just how it is. But that's not how the Premier League works. So unfortunately, I don't think Chelsea is his career. I think people go way overboard with hatred, and it's such a silly thing because Mason Mount, he is a great player, but he does have flaws in his game, and it's okay to understand that. You can have both. You can be a good player and still have flaws in your game. Not everybody can be Messi. Not everybody can be Neymar. Not everybody can be Ronaldo. It's not how it works. Or even Hazard, for that matter. Just everybody has faults. And the quicker that we understand as a fan base, like, yes, Mason Mount has faults, and there are times that he's not producing like he should, he still will get there.
He will. He will. I mean, Timo Werner is a funny one. Personally, again, probably hating me for this again, but I don't think Timo Werner will ever have as good a season again, no matter where he plays, as the season before we bought him. It's like Michu scored 25 goals for Swansea, never did before, never did again. That's how I see Timo Werner, because also his other seasons at Leipzig were good, but nowhere near that ridiculous good as that one before we signed him. I think if he goes back to Bundesliga, it will be more like his 1 or 2 previous seasons at Leipzig, not like his last season. Like, no matter where he goes, personally, could be wrong, but that's me. But I think, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to round it out here. What a day, man! What a day! 6-0. Couldn't really have asked for more. Arsenal lost. United lost. Lampard, hopefully keeping Everton up. Not that I really care about Everton stay up, but I don't want Lampard to get relegated, essentially. Because we love Frank, even if I'm glad he's not our manager anymore. Excuse me. But, ladies and gentlemen, number one, please, if you're still here, please do subscribe. Smash that like button if you haven't just yet. Become a member if you fancy. There's the link down in the description, or the join button underneath if you are on desktop. Check out my 3 wonderful guests down in the description. CFC Pice's website, chelseafc365.com, just so that I can get it out. Of course, check out Con and Clutch on Twitter. Like I said, the links down in the description below. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Up to Chelsea, upwards and onwards. What a day. And we'll see you next time.